Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Gamers DMZ. Did you guys miss us? We missed you. Uh, here, Jazzy Moto. It's been 2 weeks, but we're back. Lots of stuff happened. So it's me, Jazzy Moto, followed by Megalixer.
Hey guys.
Then we got OG Double M,
Hey everybody.
followed by Mr. Sir Rich.
What up? What up?
And then the hosts with the most. We got the one.
Thank you, Jazimoto. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. If you have the opportunity and time, please do not forget to like and subscribe to us. It'll be much appreciated. Uh, as Jazimoto said, we've been gone for 2 weeks and we're back, and a lot of things happened in the gaming world. So we want to get back on track and discuss some of the things that has transpired in our absence. That being said, there's going to be a couple of topics before we get started. I want to get everybody's opinion on, but it's one topic that is totally off base, that has totally nothing to do with gaming, unless it was made into a video game. So, after everyone introduced themselves and we discussed what we're playing, I want to ask everyone an off base question because I think it's going to be funny as the devil. So, that being said, let's start with Jazimoto. What have you been playing? And have you beat anything?
I have been playing Street Fighter and, of course, Diablo.
Of course,
I'm playing the
Diablo.
mess out of Diablo. Have I beat anything? Well, technically, yeah, I beat Diablo, but
Yes,
once you
sir.
beat it,
Yes.
it's just the beginning.
What
So
level are you?
I'm, I think 57.
You ahead of me. I'm only 56. Okay.
I
But
think
I was gone a
so.
week. I was gone a week, so
Okay. So, but yep, though that's pretty much it. Oh no, I lied.
okay.
I played. I'm sorry. I played. What's this game called? It is McPixel. It is
Oh
in
yeah, I
Game
played that.
Pass.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mika
That's
who?
I might have to stream this one. McPixel.
that's
Mika
crazy.
I can't
Mika
explain it. It is what it is.
Mika.
Hearing that name, I thought that was like I thought it was a McDonald's license scam or something. I was like, what?
No, that's a
Not at
that's
all.
that's a silly game, but it's not
I thought she said Mixoplex.
okay. What else you been playing? That's
That's
it.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Went
go with
camping.
Nicholas. What you been playing?
Oh, I've played a lot of games.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
All right. So first and foremost, my friend came over to the house and brought some of his games that we played. And we played Dynasty Warriors 7 on the PlayStation 3.
Excellent.
Yeah. I now
PlayStation
haven't
PlayStation 3. Oh my God.
yeah,
Didn't that?
it's a old game. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see. He brought Sonic Generations, and we played some of that. That's a that's an awesome game as well. Um, uh, in
You such a
terms of
connoisseur.
in terms of single player games, I played by myself. I played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Um, I, I played Okami, and I beat Okami.
Nice.
And I played some Uncharted 4. And finally, I played Mario and Luigi Dream Team on the Nintendo 3DS. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beat a couple of games. That's good. What about you, Sir Rich?
Uh, just Diablo and some Street Fighter.
That's it.
Yeah, I have not been at the house.
So you've not been. You have a Switch?
Yes, but I could not play it. I was busy.
Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with being busy.
He's
Ain't
been a
nothing
busy
wrong.
man. He's a world traveler.
Everybody, I ain't mad at him. All right. What about you, OG?
Let's see. I beat Diablo's campaign. I'm
Finally,
at level 53. Yeah,
finally,
finally, right?
somebody
Darius
was.
had to push me to
Uh,
do
uh,
that.
you think that's who told me about it?
Yeah. Yeah, he had to push me to do that. Um, I went back to Mad Max because I want to finish that within the next week.
Saw you
Playing that,
playing.
and I'm playing the show. Still playing my season, my franchise. Love that
As
game.
usual.
And let's
Yeah, I
see,
love baseball.
what's your team?
White Sox, of course. South
Of
Side.
course. Okay. South side. South side.
Hey, if it ain't them, it's the Cardinals.
Okay, two places where I'm from originally. I live here, so okay. So that's what you've been playing.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Okay.
Oh, and I did try that game, Sword in the Fairy.
Yeah, I've tried that too.
Yeah, interesting Chinese
Yeah,
games.
yeah, but I wish it was dubbed in English, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
You've been
It's
playing a
okay.
lot of games developed in China on Game Pass.
Yeah, I played it
Getting
earlier,
their
but
money.
Interesting.
let's see,
Yeah, find out what you like.
what did I play? I beat a couple of games just to get the points because they were leaving Game Pass. I played Exo. Well, I didn't play Exo Prime. I tried to play it today. Of course, Diablo and
Excuse me.
Tom Clancy. Ghost Recon. I played that. Tried to play Monster Sanctuary, and I did play Call of Duty as always. What else? Played a game called Hoa, HOA. Ravenlock, and what else? Mac Pixel. Played that, and I beat a game called Coffee Talk.
Coffee talk.
Coffee Talk.
Mm.
What's that?
It was just to get achievements. It's a game about coffee. That's what it's called. Coffee Talk.
Who would have thought?
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
Who would have
but
thought?
but
Here
I
we
played.
go.
Yeah, I played. I played that while I was out of town. So if I just was, and I needed to get my achievement for the day, I had to play that on either my laptop or my ROG Ally. So I had to play those to get my points because I need my points to get my achievements so I can have gamer points to buy stuff. So that's what I played. Like I said, I already said what I did. So have something that's totally off topic, but I have to say this. I want to get y'all opinions because I know you guys seen this. I find this totally hilarious, and it's not gamer related, but it could be gamer related because I think it's funny as heck. So you guys heard about this uh, MMA match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg?
Yes.
So I'm going to say this right now. I think Mark Zuckerberg is taking this very seriously because he's practicing with some MMA fighters,
He got a six
and
pack now.
I don't think Elon Musk is, and I'm going to predict that Elon's going to drop out because I think Zuckerberg is going to whoop his butt, and that's why I said I think he's going to. What do you guys think? So you guys saw that? What did you think? Jenny?
I think it's hilarious.
That remind me of when Richard Pryor was fighting Muhammad Ali in a charity event, and Richard Pryor looked
Yeah.
over at Muhammad Ali at the trainer, and he said, "He do know this is for charity, right?" Muhammad Ali was like, "I'm gonna kick your butt."
Well,
So yeah,
I'm going to predict he's going to drop out.
he probably should.
Dude, yeah. I think Mark Zuckerberg is taking it very seriously that he wants to. And I think Mark Zuckerberg got him by like 13 years. So we'll see. What do you think about that, Surge?
No,
Excuse me.
no, I ain't really got no thoughts about it.
Hmm. Well, you're not in the MMA.
I mean, charity fight, They usually boring because it's
I didn't say
rush.
it was for charity. I hope it's for charity with them
Well,
billionaires.
I'm just saying like a charity style fight because it's basically all it is.
For some publicity.
Two amateurs. Yeah, two amateurs fighting for publicity based platforms.
Let's see.
So
Let's change that. Two Uber billionaires fighting for charity. There ain't no. Yeah, they Uber billionaires. So we'll see. But I just wanted to get your Mega. What you think about it?
Oh, this is completely new information for me. So I'm still trying to process it. But yeah, it's something. I can't. Yeah.
I think Mark Zuckerberg is going to take him.
Oh, he gonna beat that man down if that actually comes to fruition. I would bet my money on Mark Zuckerberg 100%. I would bet all my money on that one because there's no way that big old overweight uh, Elon Musk is gonna do that. Anyway, I just wanted to get you guys' thought about that. Let's get to the gaming news before we bore people out. So what did you guys think about this whole issue with, and some context here, Ratchet and Clank on the PS5 only being able to play on the PS5 because of that super duper highly ultra fast technologically advanced SSD. So what do you guys thought about that when it first came out? Man, it could only be played on PS5. What did you think about that hoopla?
Yeah, Sony
Uh,
definitely over exaggerated the
Hey,
SSD.
because now
hey,
it can be ran on a regular hard drive on a regular PC after it was touted to only be able to run on the PS5. Do you think Sony was just disingenuous and marketing hype? BS? Should they be sued? What do you guys think? OG, what do you think?
hey, many moons ago, Public Enemy made a song called "Don't Believe the Hype." I knew what was up with it.
So you had many of
Big
you,
jump.
you had many other people running with it, right?
Mm-hmm. It only can be ran through on the SSD and blah blah blah. Yeah, all right. Number hype for Mark Cerny. He can make a ham sandwich sound like a 3-course meal.
Do you? It was to sell PS5s. That's what I think.
Yeah, it was to
Okay.
sell PS5. Yeah,
Okay.
wasn't nothing unique about that game.
No, nothing. I don't think there was anything unique about it. I just think it was a way to make the PS5 seem so advanced.
I kind of read somewhere, but interesting game design in a game design standpoint. This, but I think what the game is actually doing, because one of the main gimmicks of Rift Apart is like how you travel to a completely different biome and
Can I
seamless.
stop? Hold on, hold on, hold on,
Wait,
hold on, hold
what?
on. This has nothing to. I am just. I'm so amazed at this new word now everyone is using, biome. Can't people just say, not just you, I'm being silly with this because everyone says biome. What just happened to location? Now it's biome.
It sounds unique. It stands out,
Exactly.
Minecraft
but not when
reference. That's what
everyone
happened.
uses it. Like, stop
Everybody.
using words in places that they don't belong. This isn't a biological study. This is a video game. This is the location.
That is the key term. Everything is a biome. This biome. I'm like, okay, but go ahead, Mega. I just found that to be funny when you said it. So
Yeah,
I'm not
but
I'm not taking a dig at you, but it's just like it's them.
okay.
And
It,
caveat,
it's not you. It's them. But go ahead.
But I know older games in the series did this on older consoles, but I think I think what the game is actually doing is that there's like a little game design trick called dynamic loading. And what it does is that when you're actually like playing the game is like loading slash streaming um while you're playing the game. And older titles have done that before, granting like a more limited way.
Okay, let me ask you this question because I want you to give me some perspective in regard to your actual gameplay. Have you played it on the PS5?
Have I played the game myself? No.
Okay, on the PS5.
I haven't played the game, period.
Okay, just go ahead then. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to get a point of reference on that. So you didn't play it on the PS5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead, finish. I didn't. I have something to say, but go ahead. Are you finished? I want to get OG's
Well, I
point.
was about to say there's like
Go
Well, I
ahead.
was about to say that Sony is like overhyping it because really, the game is really just doing like, an older
So, right.
trick.
So you saying it was done based off a trick of older games have been doing before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
OG.
Oh, I gave my dig on it.
Okay. Surge.
I just think it was them just fluffing their system, trying to get people to buy SSDs.
By SSD, you mean by the PlayStation?
Well, even though people who have a PlayStation would have to buy a SSD though.
No, they wouldn't.
So
It was in there. What do you mean?
the SSD, I thought the SSD was extra. I thought it came with a hard drive
No,
and then you had to put an
no,
SSD in
no,
there.
no, no.
No,
It was
it came with an
SSD.
SSD.
That's
It
part
came
of the
with
system,
yeah.
Okay. It was just the size of it then I saw.
which is the CPU, right? If
No,
I'm
the
not
S,
No, that's
mistaken.
a
no, the S
storage.
is a storage. Let's just call it a
Solid state
solid
drive.
state drive, right? SSD. That's what they are.
Oh, okay.
SSD stands for solid state drive. That's the acronym. Means solid.
Yeah, so I must
Yeah,
have just been seeing
yeah,
people change it to a larger size because of the size of the PS5's
right,
original
right. Because remember, everything was possible because of that SSD because it was so much faster than the Xbox Series X SSD, and it was going to load games so much faster. Hence, everything is the power of that SSD, which an SSD doesn't have any processing power. But how that ever made sense
one. It sounds
beyond my
good to people who
comprehension.
don't know.
All right. What about you, Jazz?
I agree. Just trying to fluff up what they had available. Um, I didn't play the game, but for me, I don't know. It just seemed like a yeah and moment. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, I wasn't really too concerned about it, but hindsight, looking back, I really do agree and think that they were just trying to hype it up.
Trying to hype the PS5 up
Yep.
because the game actually could have been done on the PS4.
So you're saying that the reason why they did that and they didn't put the game the PS4 is because they wanted to market as a PS5 only game because of what the game can
Exactly.
do and the loading times. Like, oh, it's instantaneous. And since you have a regular hard drive on the PS4, you had to get it on the PS5, which is a way of disingenuous marketing. As for me, being a person who played the game on the PS5, beating Ratchet and Clank, and when I played it, I'm like, whoop de doo. It didn't impress
Mm-hmm.
me. It didn't impress me about the power of the SSD of loading. It was just okay. Load a screen, boom. Load a screen, boom. Even if it was on a hard drive, if it was a millisecond or 25 milliseconds slower, you wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, because like I said before, it's doing the old trick.
Right, because somebody came out with a developer came out and said that a long time ago. He said that not a long time ago, but last year. Let me not make a long time ago seem like it was many years ago. I think he came out last year. I forget the developer, but he was saying that was a trick that Sony used, and you can do it on a. They did it many years ago, and the games could do it now, just X, Y, Z. So I find it to be right now. Sony definitely did it in a way to say that, hey, we need to sell a PS5 because if you see the PCs that it can be done on with a regular HD, you could see that they're trying to cast a wide net of gamers on the PC end to make up for
Yeah.
the game not doing as well on the PS5. See, no one thought about that because I don't think that game sold more than 2 million on the PS5. Can someone correct me on that? And I think the game's going to do well, even if it sells 1 million to 1.5 million on the in the PC base. That's a heck of a lot, or almost as much as it sold on with the PS5. So to me, it's marketing is disingenuous marketing that they did in the very beginning because they know they could have sold it. So where they fumbled at is they would have been better to come back right now and say, because it wouldn't have taken them much longer to say, hey, our ingenious engineers at Sony Interactive Entertainment found a way to make the game work on the PS4 at 720p to recoup some of the funds. It would have sold. You think so?
Well, if it
Yeah.
was ported on PS4,
Yeah. If they would have,
Yeah.
because it would have sold like crazy. They could have recouped some of their funds. But we'll see if they ever get to come to their senses and do something to that nature in that respect. So we'll see how that comes along. Anyone else does anyone else have anything else to say about that?
No, I was trying to find the sales number, but I keep finding the merge numbers.
I thought it was 2 million. Let me look it up real quick just in case while we are talking. Anyone else have anything?
Nope. They keep displaying like what the IP sold in total.
It's a little fudge there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that as of July 2021, it only sold 1.1 million units.
Okay.
That's not good. Okay, let's go back to.
It looked like that was the last time it was reported on too.
Yeah, that's true
Yeah.
as well. That's very true as well.
Yeah, I saw that, but I was like, that can't be true.
It is. So what do you guys think about Sony investing that 2.1 billion in live service, or what is it called? What is it called? Live service games? Or
R&D.
R&D?
Research and development.
research and development.
Research and development.
I said we need to research some new stuff.
Here's some money.
Well, they looking for something to stick. You're about to lose Call of Duty, so you need something to replace that revenue.
But most of the research and development is live service games.
Mm-hmm. That's where everybody going because they can shut it down if it doesn't do well, and they can get microtransactions at you.
Here's the problem. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I actually think they're gonna at least have two that will stick. I mean, they're making like 10 of them.
If they make 10, I'm pretty sure with their fan base, at least 4 or 5 will stick. But here's the funny part, and I guess they showed that in their last game show. They're gonna have to have something that competes or is as fun as or as engaging as Roblox. What's that other little game all these kids play?
Overwatch?
Overwatch.
Fortnite. That's it. That
Fortnite.
Fortnite. That's Fortnite. Call of Duty, Warzone, something like that. That has a lot of microtransactions in it because you can invest 2 point whatever billion, but
That don't
if
mean
you
you'll get a hit.
you right, but you're gonna if someone invests 2 billion, you're at least looking to make double that back over time. So I
They
guess
only need one to hit. That's what I'm saying. They only need one to
They
hit.
scrambling like, no, we need something else.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get it out by next year. That's 2024 is next
I
year.
don't know.
I mean, that's how much they're going to spend. It doesn't mean it's going to come out and be marketed, but we'll see. Do you think it's a wise move?
I
They got to
think,
do something. They needed some
yeah.
R&D some years ago.
So yeah, in that respect, yeah, it's good. It's just you're doing it kind of
I mean,
late.
they really,
Just glad you're doing it.
yeah, they felt behind in that department, so I think they have at least one good one.
You think so?
He hopes so. That's a better term for it.
Come on, y'all can do it.
Come on, get your
I hope they
competition
do. I
pants
mean,
on.
I hope they do. This about to be a long generation.
This is just a side comment, but it's just a side comment. But if they made like I don't know, like an online multiplayer Ratchet and Clank game, then I'll be all in.
Yeah, it's mighty specific.
Okay,
That's
you know what? Before we get to these main topics, I want you to humor me on that and tell me how does that encompass everybody else who has money to spend? Elaborate. What is going to be a Ratchet and Clank multiplayer game that
That
is
sells out
that
the box.
well, not no, they're not selling it because in order for it to have microtransactions, most of those games are free to play
Not
or
true. But
limited
the
investment.
ones that
So
sell well
I'm
that make the
picking,
extra money.
right. But Fortnite free,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare free,
Apex.
Roblox free, Apex free. So I'm asking,
You know, Scotty ain't with that free stuff.
well,
They're
I
gonna have
like
to
my
give up to
money.
make the real money. You gotta give something
no,
to get something.
no, I'm
They
picking
ain't
his
with
brain.
that free
Hold
stuff.
on, hold on, hold on. Let me pick Megalix's brain. He brought the game out. So explain to me, and a person in you brought it up. Tell me how would you make this game
What's your
free to play?
pitch?
What's your pitch to make sure I would buy it, or OG would buy it, or Jazz, or
honestly, I
Moto?
haven't thought about it deeply. That was just the
Well, he asking you to
in
in this
me.
moment right now.
That's what I just
But
asked. So give me an example, real quick. Just say why did okay? Let me rephrase the question. Why did Ratchet and Clank stick out to you?
Why did it stick out to me? Well, first of all, it's part of the platforming genre, and I'm a fan of platformers.
But okay. Let me you are killing me with that. You're a fan of platformer, yet you said it's multiplayer. Explain to me real quick. What would you do to make it multiplayer? How would you engage others since you said it's a platformer you're interested in?
It's a shooter as well.
Okay, so you're saying it's going to
Yeah.
be a shooter, and are you shooting at the little ugly critters, or who are you shooting? What is the
No,
basic premise?
you're shooting at other characters. Like, let's say you can make your own character, like a customization, and that'll be like, and
So
that'll
you
be
want to make
heavy.
a game like what's that game, Jasmodo, that you just said? I keep because I don't play it. I keep
Fortnite.
forgetting.
Fortnite,
That's
yeah.
yeah. So you want to make it like Fortnite with the characters in Ratchet and Clank in
Yeah,
that world. In that world,
yeah.
you see how easy that was for you to describe your game you wanted to do.
So Ratchet and Clank Battle Royale, basically.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Just put a little bit thought to it. That's all.
But on the other hand, I mean, and I can't really say too much because I didn't play Ratchet and Clank like that. But it seems like at one point, seems like there was at one point a big boom of Battle Royale games. Do you think it's going to be too late for this one to be released?
Exactly. That's where I was going to go.
That's my thing.
Like, oh, you guys finally just made one? Oh, that's nice. Like, I don't know.
But
You
see, I'll
need
be honest.
something very unique that's gonna stick out over the rest now. I do believe that.
What's that game? Okay, you got. Now look at how that other game came out that is very popular that Surge and Jazzy Moto love playing.
I'm talking about PUBG, Apex.
There you go. There
That's
you
still a
go.
battle royale, though.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
gonna
but
say Naraka.
no.
I was
What I
gonna go
was
down the list of battle
For
royales.
real.
but no, but let me. What I was saying was why I brought that out to you is because I know I played that with you two as well. But remember that came out back in the day in the Xbox One X era. That was the top.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
was one of the top games. Look how far it fell. It may be doing well in the PC overall with everything else.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
it
But
does all right.
Yep.
right, it does all right. But I think Fortnite is still
Tournaments.
king of the hill.
Yeah, it is.
And
It ain't
then you
failed too
have
far, but it's
Apex.
waning.
Right. Then you have Apex. Then you have Call of Duty, and all the others fall below. And Battlefield tried to go that route. So it's hard to make, and not only it's hard to make a free to play game, and Roblox is for kids, but it's hard to. It's not an infinite amount of fun.
It has to feel right. Not every game
Yeah.
can just make a battle royale and it like work or just feel. You know how some things just don't feel right. Like, this ain't the genre for you.
Right.
Like
Now
this
I
week.
know a lot of people who play, and I jump in and out in Call of Duty Warzone. I don't like Call of Duty Warzone. I like Call of Duty multiplayer. I don't like Warzone. And a lot of people jump in and they buy this and they buy X and they buy Y and they buy Z. Even in Call of Duty, they buy X, Y, Z. And the point I'm making is, I don't care what it is. Skins don't interest me.
At all.
So I don't know how people like even in Call of Duty
Let
when
me
you get
cash the
shot,
bank out.
right, you'll see your guns explode. You'll see somebody have outfits on. If I can't
Oh,
see
there
it,
he is.
why do? But if I can't see my outfit, why do I care what you see?
Because I want to look cool on somebody else's screen.
Ain't none of them caught on with me. Not one of them.
But they're aiming for the people who do care, and they getting the money.
And they getting the
And they
money
getting
because
them.
I mean,
They getting them.
Yeah, they getting them.
you hop on Call of Duty multiplayer, you will see these people with different types of skins. The
Guns.
the guns have these blow up and this, that, and the other. The guns look all neat. The shots are like, what do you call it? Uh, Fireworks type of shots coming out the guns when they uh, kill you or something. So I don't care about that, and I'm not paying you $10 to $15 for that. I can't see playing $15 for a gun skin. Let me say that. So we'll see how Sony.
Did anybody ever play Bleeding Edge?
I did.
Bleeding Edge. What's that?
I played it. I didn't
Oh,
like
you
the,
played it?
I didn't like the mechanics of it.
Hmm.
I didn't like it at all.
That game didn't last long.
That's probably why I don't know.
I mean, I didn't hear nobody say it was bad or anything. It just fizzled out, right?
Yeah, it fizzled out because it was nothing to keep you in it once you played it. It was like a Overwatch, but it was nothing to keep you there. It was nothing unique about it, and that goes back to what Jazimoto said: is that what's going to keep you in it, what's going to help you stay in it to spend money, and how they're going to properly monetize it to get money, because that's their goal.
Mm-hmm. They need that money.
Okay, so did everyone put their point of view in on that? Okay, so let's get to the animal in the room so we can discuss this. And I want to start because I was out of town when this happened, or getting ready, and I did watch some of it, and then came back. We didn't do it last week because I didn't feel that there was really anything to talk about at the point. So last week, or was it? No, it was the week prior that the FTC and Microsoft and Activision Blizzard went to court. Now, Let me give you some backstory. And people correct me because it's a long story that I want to bring people who are listening up to date. So the FTC and Microsoft have been fighting, or Microsoft has been trying to get this merger approved, right? The merger must be approved by July 18th. So Microsoft said, very ingeniously, well, after the EU approved the deal, we're going to close the deal, right? So who hand did they force? They forced the FTC hand. The FTC had went to the the courts to say, hey, we want a temporary restraining order. Right? So Microsoft can't close the deal and then in the process get a PI, which is a preliminary injunction to stop them from merging. Do I have all the points? Did I hit all the points?
So far.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so far.
they had to go to court, and the courts was over what 5 days. And during that 5 day period, you had all these people from Microsoft um, testify. You had Sarah Bond, you had Phil Spencer, you had Matt B, and I'm not going to say his name. You
Come
had
on, come on, come
I'm
on.
not saying his name.
Matt B.
Matt B.
B. Matty B.
Yeah, Matty B. Let's call him Matty B. Yeah, Matty B. Yeah, we discussed a little of that because I said I would have fired Phil. That's his name. Phil Hines or whatever. So anyway, then we had to wait for Judge Corley to give her decision. And all the bogusness in this whole trial came out. And on, was it Tuesday of this week, she came out with her um, decision and she denied the FTC of their
Hmm.
preliminary injunction. Preliminary injunction would have stopped Microsoft from merging with Activision Blizzard. The preliminary injunction would stop and they wanted to put a halt on it. But that's why they had a temporary restraining order. When the judge came out with her decision, she said, no, I'm not going to let you have your preliminary injunction. And I'm also going to shorten the temporary restraining order, which was going to end next week, but actually ends tomorrow night.
Hmm.
So the judge pointed out in her
Inconsistency.
ruling that one, why did you do this at the last minute? You being the FTC. Microsoft said we agreed, we'll wait. They could have filed their case in December 2022. They decided not to. They could have filed it September, I think, of 2022. They decided not to. So they waited because they knew Microsoft deadline to close the deal would be July 18th, which is next week. So, which is the reason why Microsoft said we're going to close to force the FTC hand to get a temporary restraining order to get the preliminary injunction. So, the judge ruled. Now, hearing the case and the lopsidedness of the case, what did you think about if you read any of the documentation? The FTC's bogus claim still saying 100% that they are protecting consumers. But in the closing arguments or throughout the whole case, they mentioned Sony more than they mentioned consumer.
Hmm.
That did you guys notice that? And
No.
let's say
Yeah, it was like over 80
it
times
was 70 to 80 times they
Let
mentioned
me see.
Sony.
Let me look at that.
No,
instead of the consumer.
so not only did they mention Sony, then they also said cloud gaming. But they kept saying Sony, which I don't understand. And what were your guys' thoughts on any of these proceedings? What did you hear about it? What did you think about it? Did you think that was fair that the judge denied the FTC uh, of a temporary, the preliminary injunction? It gave them temporary restraining order. Here's the funny thing, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, and this is food for thought. what is strange about this? They mentioned Sony and only barely mentioned the consumers once or twice. But you get the head of PlayStation saying that he didn't even want the deal to go through. He refused to sign a special deal with Activision Blizzard. Um, their expert said it would be stupid for Microsoft to foreclose, which means, in a sense, take the product away from Sony or anybody else. And the FTC was saying, well, Microsoft made agreements with Nvidia and Nintendo and a couple others, and those contracts can't be trusted, right? In a sense, I'm paraphrasing. What do you guys think about that when they kept mentioning contracts and that the cloud service and Microsoft's going to own the cloud service? And I got something. I wish they would have had me in court with the cloud services part because I would have ate them alive on that crap. But what did you
I
guys
don't
think?
I
Go
I
ahead,
don't
Hope.
I don't understand the misconnection when they kept saying there were signed contracts. How can you break the signed contract?
Okay, that's the point that I. Oh, and then the judge even said, and I want somebody to think about. And I was arguing. I wasn't having a conversation with someone on Twitter today. She said, "Well, the person said to me on Twitter, well, it was because they didn't trust the signed contracts and they didn't do anything about the signed contracts till March or April." I say, then if Microsoft didn't have the signed contracts with Nvidia, Nintendo, which is not really true, why didn't they take the case to court in December? They would have had a better chance of winning if
For
Microsoft
winning.
but they didn't do that, did they? They waited. So, what do you guys think about the contract? And what I was telling the young person, I don't know if they're young, but I was just wrote them back. I said, have anybody ever read contracts as it relates, especially a lot of sometimes employment contracts, credit card, especially credit card contracts? And I said, do you ever notice that most of them have an arbitration agreement, meaning you can't do a class action? I said, any contract is always going to benefit the one who wrote the contract. When you get a loan from a bank, your mortgage, who is it the contract geared toward? The benefit of the
Protecting
mortgage
the
holder.
bank. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, how are you going to say that a contract is not going to be fair, but it's always going to be something where the person will say Microsoft can change the agreement as long as it's fair. And the judge even brought that out. Well, you mean to tell me, and I'm paraphrasing, the judge said Nintendo has some smart lawyers and the Nvidia had smart lawyers. So why would they sign the contracts if it wasn't going to be beneficial to them?
Right.
And the FTC was arguing that, which I didn't get, and they still arguing that today. So give me some feedback on what you guys thought about that. So Jazimoto, what did you think about some of that and the shenanigans as I call
I mean, I didn't really get to look at the contracts and everything. I have the PDFs
them? Now,
right
no
here.
one saw no one saw the contracts. I'm
Uh,
just saying overall of the shenanigans overall, not the contracts. I know you didn't see the contract.
uh,
None of us did.
I don't know. I want to see this whole appeal. I know we're gonna touch on it, the appeals and everything. I don't know. I think it's silly.
Okay.
But
Serge, what about
nothing
you?
heavy.
That is what we all been saying this whole time, that they really didn't have
It's a biased
anything.
case. Oh, they have a
Yeah,
biased case. They have a biased
Extremely.
case
yeah,
with no fact.
yeah. That's what we were saying the whole time. Like, it just makes no sense to like why it's taking them so long to actually say these things. Like, y'all can't say it out your mouth that it's bias, and y'all know what y'all should do for the consumer's benefit. Y'all just talking in circles. And now finally somebody actually doing what's right and looking at what's laid before them instead of doing favors.
Well, if you read, and I'm gonna go to double on this. OJ, did you read any of the judge's denial? And I included that document. She And let me see if I can pull some of it up while you talking, because I want to make sure people see what she said. She eviscerated them.
It's visceral. I knew that word was coming
She
out.
she eviscerated, and they can say what they want to say. She ate them alive, and she was like, "You failed to do X, you failed to do Y, you failed to do Z," and she destroyed them. Like, them
You
being
have
able
no curse.
Well, the FTC thing is cloud gaming, and there's not a market in cloud gaming yet. It's merging. It's emerging. It's not even emerging. We just starting. You know.
well, let me give you my point about that, and I would have about the whole cloud gaming market that makes no sense to me, and why it can't be a market. Okay, and this is going to resonate with everyone when I say this. They're talking about cloud gaming as if you're going to stop playing on your Xbox and just do everything straight from the cloud.
So like a
And let me
complete
ask you this. Oh,
alternative.
right, right. That's what they want to consider it. Now, this is where I'm going with this. What was one of the main issues with Google? What was Google's cloud service called? Google Play.
Stadia.
Stadia.
What was one of the main problems for it?
They first of all didn't have a lot of games, if I recall
Well,
correctly.
don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. What was the one of
The
the main?
lag.
Connection.
No, no, you in the right world, because they said it did play when you had a good connection. It played very well, but it ate your bandwidth up.
Mm.
Remember. So let me give you a
Mm.
visual. Let me give you a visualization. You go to Microsoft Data Center. We're going to call that the cloud. Then we go to the Comcast. From Comcast, we go to the home. Right. That's not one network, is it not? I'm just making it. Then you got other interconnections between those places, but let's call it that. How are you gonna do cloud gaming 100% like we play games? Like you guys can sit up online and play 30, 40 minutes, 2 or 3 hours, right?
Right.
And this is strictly cloud. And answer this question for me. Who's gonna play those games when Comcast saying you already hit your bandwidth limit?
Nope.
Your download you does down out. Please tell me.
They're gonna be like, give
Every-
me that. You can no longer use unlimited. You
Or
must
right.
pay.
Right, because everybody don't have unlimited.
Right,
It's
and they
gonna
Well,
be a
have
they
thing of the
might. They
it's
might. You
past.
all
might. You
right. So
might hit a
let's
limit on unlimited, and it
okay.
might be some under
It's
clause,
gonna be a
It's called
a
slowdown where
sub
you can't
clause.
even play on the
no,
cloud.
so it's called data caps. A lot of people have data caps, and if you go over, they charge you 10 to 15, $20. How is that feasible when you sharing internet in your home? I'm just talking about us people gaming. You doing Netflix. You doing people work from home. And you really thinking about cloud gaming when cloud gaming is an expense when it's that. So it didn't make sense. And I'm like, this is
Yeah,
where
that's
Microsoft
crazy.
lawyers could have said cloud gaming is a stub. It is an ancillary uh, product of gaming overall, but it's not a main gaming state because the infrastructure in the US is not there. Now let's take it further. Let's talk about Surge. Let's talk about Double. Let's talk about Mega. And probably you too, not me. Well, maybe me now since I got a ROG ally. But I know OG catches the train to go to work every morning, correct? OG pulls out his switch, right? So let's say if
Mhm.
OG wanted to cloud stream, right? OG would have to use his
right.
phone, connect his aunt phone, and then use that bandwidth, correct?
Like what you have to do
Yeah.
to play
Your
freaking
phone be like,
Connect
Sifu.
to
okay,
hotspot.
but see, a lot of people not gonna play on hotspot. You're gonna play on your phone and get the best connection because that's remember they got the 5G and all this other crap.
Hmm.
Who's going to just think if everyone did that? So
That's the
issue,
only ballman network now.
the whole thing about cloud gaming, like everyone's could do it. It's a market. It's not a market. And that's what non
It's a capped market. You can only
it's
allow
it's
so much.
That's a non-gamer would say.
right. It's
M-
not a market. It's just it's an add on to, like, when I want to play a game
It's a
real quick.
support
It's
system.
Yeah.
complementary
Yes, that's it.
to
It's
what you
compliment.
have.
It's but it's not a market within itself, and that's what I think.
No,
That
it's not.
it's definitely not a market because it's not a market. You got X Cloud Gaming, but it's not like Microsoft is giving you the bandwidth. No one. That's why it's dependent on your provider. So it can't be when somebody else is the other part of it that you can't control. So I found that quite amusing.
It's their excuse. At least that's what I
Exactly.
think.
Exactly. So I was trying to find this piece. Oh, let me give you this piece. Let me read the conclusion by the Jacqueline when she denied the PI, which is the preliminary injunction, right? Let me just read a piece of this, and I want to bring you to the people listening to part of this of how she arrived at her conclusion. And she was thorough. She kind of eviscerated them. Um, I'm just going to read a piece. She says the FTC insists the difficulty in ordering post-acquisition divestitures in the public equity that prevails, uh, but it does not cite any specific about this merger to support its assertion. It is a vertical acquisition. Microsoft and Activision will act as parent and subsidiary. There is no planned dismantling of operations as in Warner. They made a reference to Time Warner. I think it was Time Warner, HBO Max, and all that. What exactly about the merger would make it difficult to order an effective divestiture? The FTC does not say. Its argument at the bottom is the equities always weigh in favor of preliminary injunction, but the argument ignores the law. So the balance of equities is a separate, independent reason the FTC motion must be denied. Then she goes on and says, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. The scrutiny has paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox. It made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and it entered several agreements for the first time, bringing Activision content to several cloud gaming services. The court's responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if, notwithstanding these circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending resolution of the FTC's administrative action. For the reasons explained, the FTC finds the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood that it will prevail on its claim this particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. Let me finish. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access. She kind of reads at the end access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied. Then she says, the opinion constitutes the finding of fact and conclusion of law required by Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 52. Given the compressed time the court had to issue a written opinion in light of the impeding termination date, there will likely be errors in the citations. And for the same reason, the opinion does not address every argument the FTC makes in the 196-page post-trial submission, nor cite every piece of evidence supporting the court's finding, because the decision on the FTC's request for a preliminary injunction effectively terminates the litigation and constitutes a final order. this case is dismissed. And then she references another case. And she says this opinion is filed under seal, blah, blah, blah. She read, I can't find that piece, but she lit into them. So what did y'all think about that?
Like I said before, somebody finally looked at what was going on and just laid it out.
So
Cut the mess.
so guess what? When the FTC heard that, they went over her head, right? And they tried to get another. They went to the Ninth District Court to get a restraint or a preliminary injunction. But they had to go back to Judge Corley to say, hey, we want you to admit that you made errors. Since you made the errors, you have to come back and give us a preliminary restraining order to block the merger. Did y'all know she did that today? The FTC did that, right?
Nope.
And guess what she did?
I don't want to hear it.
She just came back and they did that today, so they can go to the Ninth Circuit Court tomorrow and file, because they already filed, but they have to get her denial before they go to the Ninth Circuit Court. So she responded back today and said the FTC asked this court to enjoin the merger at its pending resolution of the FTC's appeal in the Ninth Circuit Court. The motion is denied. It is so hard.
I don't even want to hear what y'all trying to say. No.
So now they have to go to the Ninth Circuit Court to get the 3 judges in the Ninth Circuit Court to overrule Judge Corley. They said she made errors, so they have to do that tomorrow. Wow. If they do that tomorrow by midnight, because Microsoft is closing this deal this weekend.
They can close it tomorrow night.
This weekend.
Yep.
No, they can't
11:50. Yeah, 11:59 p.m.
Pacific time. Pacific time. So we'll see how that transpires. I'm still holding out that this will actually go through, but they already said it's going to be delisted. ATVI is being delisted tomorrow. But since we're on this road, did any of you guys take the opportunity to look at the hearing where they grilled her on Congress?
I've seen a little of it. It was, well, she looked like a deer in headlights.
Well, she didn't answer anything because and some people said the only reason she sent this case out is because she didn't want to answer questions, because if the case was closed,
exactly, she had a hearing today.
You're right, so that's why she had.
So she was able to say, yeah,
it's I
can't divulge that. I can't give you an answer.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, to her credit, I have no problem, and she out of her league though, fighting for privacy, data rights, and anything in that nature, health, personal data, anything in that scope that she fought for, and health and fraud. I don't have a problem with that. That's her job. But when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, she doesn't know what she's doing, because throughout that, everyone was lighting her up about protecting Sony. And not once, she kept saying it, and I don't know why these congressmen are not that smart, because I would have looped back, and she kept saying, our job is to protect the consumer. And I would have said, well, according to this legal document that is public facing, you can comment on it. Well, she probably couldn't because she's the FTC. But my point is, show me where you're protecting consumers by protecting Sony. Because they went again when they want this preliminary injunction, is because they're saying,
look, just give me something. Give me a reason why you protecting them. Tell me you're a pony. Why you take that?
I keep telling you, this is all about big tech. This has nothing to do with anything but big tech. And we'll see if the Ninth Circuit Court allows them to do so. Now, let me show you what they filed, and I'm going to read off what they filed. They, being FTC, filed against the Ninth Circuit, to the Ninth Circuit Court. And these are the errors that they're saying that Judge Corley made. Now, listen to this. 1, The judge applied the wrong legal standard, relying on government case seeking permanent injunctions. So they wanted her to use it, from what I read, uh, case law in California. But why would you use case law in California if this is a U.S. based injunction you're trying to do for everyone, not just people in California? Yeah, they say she they call it ERRED, on Xbox Game Pass consumer benefits over potential foreclosure in multi-game subs. Here's the point where they provided no data. Their expert couldn't provide any data. They went off old data from Gen 8 consoles, right? Then they go back and say, here's what my point. Rely too much on Microsoft cloud gaming agreements, those contracts. What else could you rely on? So you're going to say their agreements were bad? But we all sign contracts around the world, so our contracts are not good. I didn't get that. 4, missed potential partial foreclosure strategies. This whole partial foreclosure strategy makes no sense, because their whole thing was that, and this is where they got caught with their pants down. It was all about Call of Duty, was it not?
Yeah.
Even Sony said Call of Duty. Then they started saying, well, what about the other titles? No, but that's what you said. You the one who made everything about Call of Duty. So I found that interesting. And then 5, ignored the FTC's evidence about Microsoft incentive to foreclosure. Everything they have is on incentive to foreclosure, right? How can you have an incentive to foreclosure when the economics of foreclosure shows that you're going to lose a good couple of $1 billion over X amount of years, right? So Microsoft is paying $69 billion for Activision Blizzard. Why would they foreclose when stockholders are going to be like, hey, I want my money back? Why would you stop that revenue? And they said even if Microsoft did foreclose, you would only have a 5% shift. And a 5% shift does not create a monopoly. And that's the problem that the FTC is having. So that is where they are arguing, they being the FTC is arguing those 5 points. They're arguing with the Ninth Circuit Court to have them stop the merger by 9 p.m. or by actually 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night, so the merger doesn't go through. Now remember, this is Pacific Standard Time. So I guess by midnight Pacific Standard Time, and if the judges put it on the docket and they read it, Microsoft has a chance to respond. They have to read all the data, and they got to make a decision based on the judge's ruling. They have to breeze through the judge's ruling, Judge Corley ruling, and say you erred. And it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a horrible error that she made. But if you read the document, she multiple times used the data that was given to her by the FTC and Microsoft. So how did I err on stuff that you gave me? I didn't come to a conclusion without your data. So what are your thoughts on that, OG? OG?
Could you hear me?
I hear you now. I said, what are your thoughts on
that? As far as closing?
About the process that I just talked about. What are your thoughts about them trying to do this this injunction at the last minute based off the evidence that they said she erred on?
It's still not enough.
I don't.
I mean, I feel like it's still not enough, and they have to do this within 24 hours.
No, they got to do this all by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
They want emergency injunction. Which,
I mean, in my opinion, I believe they don't have enough time.
Well, if the judge is reading, the 3-panel judges, Read it. Now, a judge can say, "Hey, we'll get a decision Monday," right? But that's why they're trying.
But
That's why
then
they
they still can close. If I can get a
exactly.
decision Monday, they can still
It'll,
close
it'll be too
this
late.
weekend.
But here's the
It'd be too late.
hypocrisy. Here's the hypocrisy of the FTC. They could have took him to court earlier and had all this resolved, but they didn't want to. This is why people see that this is a scam. They just want to wait out the clock because they know they have no case.
And
This
how
is
come they didn't bring up the collusion
they being who?
between the CMA and the FTC?
I don't think
Those two
Congress.
heads.
I don't think Congress wanted to bring that up this in the hearing. They should have, but we don't know.
It's just things I just think they didn't bring up. I mean, I don't know. I think they don't have enough. They don't have enough evidence, and those errors. So what? It still doesn't matter.
No, 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 no. They're
They
not
still
errors.
protect.
That's their opinion. That's their opinion that she didn't. She
That's
advised.
right.
She
That's
made
their
a
opinion.
judgment. They made a judgment based off of everything they presented. And if you read, it's behoove you guys to read that document. And she did an excellent job in the short version of letting them know where they screwed up on. And she cited case law with everything she did. She did cite case law. She just didn't make an opinion up. When she says something, which lawyers do all the time, they have to reference case law. And she did a lot about referencing case law.
Yeah. Very interesting and a little too deep for me.
And see, this is what she pissed them off too, because in the end, she says the court modifies its temporary restraining order such that the temporary restraining order will dissolve at 11:59 p.m. on July 14th, unless the FTC abstains a stay pending appeal from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. So she was very thorough, and her response was 53 pages.
I just don't believe FTC. I just don't understand chasing after them. This merger is not a big. It's not a big effect. It's not.
Just let it
No,
go.
It's not. It's not healthcare or anything like that.
Yeah, they're kind of looking at it like an outsider perspective,
It's
you
too.
know?
Yeah. It's to me. I feel it's too deep for something that's over video games.
I agree. It's not like life and death consequences or anything.
It's not.
Hey, we might
It's
have
not.
a death to Smoochie situation. You never know.
Going to lead to something else. This is. I think it is what it is. It's plain and simple. That's just me.
well, she did a good job of saying a lot of this, and I thought it was quite interesting, but we'll see. We will see how this turns out because I've never, and see, they went after her. She's a Democrat, Biden appointee. And that's what and that's where you know it was political. The Republicans, when they grilled Lena Khan, kept saying, "Well," and this shows you to me, this type of justice should be blind. It shouldn't be party affiliated. It's all about law and referencing law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it should be kept
It's
that way.
non-biased law literature.
Now, what do you guys think about her son working for Microsoft? Y'all knew that, right? You did?
Yeah,
I know you knew.
I didn't know.
yeah, I knew that.
hmm
Yeah, I knew
But she,
that.
but But
Yeah.
she admitted it. She brought it all up. They said no problem. Now they're trying to say, oh, that's because her son worked for Microsoft. So she should have recused herself. No, she didn't have to recuse herself.
See, and if she didn't say it, then it would have been a problem either way.
Dan, right, but he's not
Right. Then would have came out.
he's not a manager. Exactly. So and he's not in that market where she's decided. And she did she disclosed it. So anyway, that's our topics for tonight. What did you guys think? How do you think it's going to turn out? Because we'll know Monday. We'll know actually Saturday night. I'm still holding out because I'm still me.
My thing is if they go to another judge and pay him
No, it's
off.
a 3-panel judge. It's not one.
I know, but I'm saying if they get 2/3 to sway some kind of way, some kind of funky way, which they shouldn't, but strange things have happened.
I guess by midnight tomorrow.
Are they fighting this hard because it's $70 billion?
No, they fighting it because it's big tech, and they
they're trying to keep their position in the economy, in the ecosystem, without doing the work. They trying to grandfather themselves in a position for all eternity, like all big corporations did. But they can't. This is a different market. Works differently.
I mean, the one congressman, he was like, Sony is the dominant company in the gaming industry,
while omitting a Nintendo in the same phrase.
Yeah. You're stopping two companies, American companies, on top of that, from merging. Whereas they're not even the dominant company in that industry.
Well, I said it's all about big tech.
Because they're in a position to get bigger than what they are, and they don't want that. And Microsoft has their hands in military and all types of other stuff. They're making software that can train pilots and all that. Like they don't need no more tech, but it's biased. They need more tech because they're developing their company to be better.
Don't be mad at that.
I think it's prejudice. We'll see tomorrow. I'll say I just don't trust the system when it comes to California and how they may just say, well, the judge erred, but they all buddies and they all in. But they say it's very hard for that Ninth Circuit Court to overturn one of their buddies. And she has to make serious errors. And she did an excellent job at looking at the data, even the whole law. It's like, well, can't see any errors here to overturn because it has to be something serious errors that she made. And the judges have to listen to Microsoft response too. So I don't know how all this is going to get done by one day, but we'll see. And all this is about because they know, and they should see through it. The judges should see through it. Is because all you trying to do, you don't really want to have a court case. You know, both parties are going to walk away on the 18th. It doesn't stop them from merging. So if they merge, they can still take them to court. And that's what the judge was trying to say. Well, if they do merge, you can take them to court still. You can make them divest that piece if it's really that much. And they show, but you're doing everything without evidence. You're making assumptions.
Nothing's a heavy up to call.
Right.
Information that is incorrect.
Yes. So with that being said, let's get our outro. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. We'll know. I know you guys will be posting stuff to see. So let's get around with where we can find each other and what we're going to be playing this weekend. Let's go with you, Mega.
All right. Well, the name's Megalixer. You'll find me right here on the Gamers DMZ podcast every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. Central Time. What else? You said what we're going to be playing this week?
Yeah, what you going to be playing this weekend?
Oh, well, I know it's going to be Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
You still playing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. What about you, OG?
I guess I'll catch up on some of this Diablo this weekend. I'm doing the what is it? The whisper. What is it?
Tree of Whispers.
Sir, the whispers. I think I need 5 more grams or something.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What tier are you playing? I'm playing 4.
How you on
Um,
4?
Excuse me?
How you on 4? You beat the other dungeon? You have to learn
I'm
how
Yeah,
to
on
do the other
3.
dungeon?
I ran. Yeah, I ran a dungeon with a couple other people and got to 4.
Yeah, see, he be cheating.
Nice.
That's all.
That ain't cheating.
Yeah, it
He
is.
That's
cheating.
teamwork. That's
Mhm.
teamwork.
You,
That's
you,
teamwork. That's
It's
you,
only
you,
cheating if
you,
he's hiding
you,
offline.
Cheating.
he over here. He
hey,
over here
right.
letting
If you
people
riding,
hold his hand through the. He been hand
ain't
holding this
nobody,
whole
ain't no,
goddamn.
don't hate marinate. Ain't nobody, nah.
Hand holding,
He said marinate.
hand holding.
Haters will hate. Because let me tell you something.
That's why I saw you on. I was like, I ain't going over there. He over there with them hit hards that make the game boring.
Oh, no, that game not boring. I don't care what you say. That game ain't boring. Although I will say this. I had an experience, and I think you all should have this experience. If you've ever played Diablo with a person that is challenged, that is one of the hardest things in the world to do.
You said
Yeah.
that's what?
That is challenged.
What is that?
Physically challenged, mentally challenged.
Oh, challenged. Okay.
Gotcha.
You mean
You
challenged
saying
as in?
you saying Diablo in general?
Yes. And you trying
That's what
to,
you're saying.
He's
no,
saying playing with someone who's challenged, who has some kind of extra challenge to life.
yes. I played with a guy over the last couple of days, and last night I played level 3 with him. And I think it's eye opening for us because we can do everything. But to a person that's challenged, it is very difficult for them, and the communication is not there, and you got to walk them through a lot.
Mm.
And because I was playing with this guy last week, same person, and I was trying, he had to send me pictures of his build through the Xbox Live. And I had to
Oh
look at it.
wow.
I'm like, dude, you are level 20, no, 30, but your equipment is level 10.
Oh
No
no.
wonder you getting your butt beat.
Look
Your
at them
armor.
numbers, bro.
Ah. And I mean, but to me, it's eye opening because it allowed me to see just a pinch into the hurdles they go through to play a game
Mm-hmm.
and how challenging Diablo is within itself. And that on top of it.
But with not understanding the core mechanics of the game,
Hmm.
even
So,
because
He ain't got
it's
the
a lot
memory.
to it. Like looking at the stuff, like just not even looking at the gear, or like going in and trying to put the right
so,
moves together and looking at all the different ratios and
so what
putting a
I'm saying,
different combination together.
like,
That's even the simplest thing was difficult. So
it's a little bit
imagine.
analytical. It's a little bit analytical from that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I want to say. I just wanted to tell you guys that that is an experience. It is an experience. So where will you be, Serge?
I will be on Facebook under Service Gaming. I haven't been on my Twitch. I've been bad. I've been ripping and running, and I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna attempt my best to get on this weekend, but I got a bunch of chores to catch up on around the house.
hey,
So
you
I
gotta
don't
do
know.
it. Yeah,
I'm gonna try my best to get on
you
Twitch
gotta do
under
what you gotta do.
Rich,
Okay.
and I got my YouTube library. I need to get back on uploading on there because I got some walking videos I could put up on there that I haven't really put on there. But you could check me out on there on the videos I do have on there, as well as gaming videos. And on Twitter, you can find me under Sir_Rich, and that's where you can find me.
Shoot James Bond.
And
Jazz.
here every week. Jazz, you said
Jazz.
Oh
Jazz.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, kind of cut out. I will be here every Thursday. Like Sir Rich, I've been, like he said, been busy. Yeah, we've just been doing a lot, ripping and running. She went camping
Oh,
last
that.
weekend, so haven't really been streaming at all lately. But
I've been
getting
enjoying
a
summer.
fresh, yeah, exactly. I'm about to get a fresh start, so you might see me on Kick, Facebook. Shoot, I got the page. Why not? YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Did I forget anything? All Jazzy Moto. Also, don't forget to check out my store. Still got some apparel up there of my drawings, so go check it out. Appreciate it. That is me,
Right.
Jazzy.
Moto. Well, you'll find me here like everyone else, Monday on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, gaming as well on the Xbox, PS5. Mostly on Friday. I probably stream a little bit of Diablo tomorrow night. So that's where you can find me. And again, everyone, thanks for joining, listening, being patient with us as we go over all this gaming stuff. Tomorrow we'll have more next week we should have more information. Hopefully we have good news about all the games that potentially may come to Xbox Game Pass based off the merger. So we'll see. I'm still going to be pessimistic as I've always been until the deal is done. Until that person sings, I'm pessimistic. So on that note, let Sir Rich take us out.
All right, everybody. Come on now. Let me holler at you. Holla. Let me holler at you. Let me holler.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla, 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 holla,
Holla,
holla,
holla,
holla.
holla.
Holler at you. Holler at you, baby. Holler at you. 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 Baby, holler at you. 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 Holler at you, baby. Holler at you. Holler at you. Holler at you. Holler at you. Baby, holler at you. Holler at you. Holler at you. Holler at you. Holler at you.